Welcome to the SXmini UK page and the presentation video for the retail UK release of the Puremax. So before we get into this, there's a reason that the SXmini UK page has held off on doing a video of the Puremax for the past, since I came back from the October Expo. I've been using this, which is the Puremax, but it's the non-retail release of the Puremax. There's a few differences, mainly to do with the pod, when it comes to what some people were given as a test sample at the October Expo in the UK last year, and what's arrived at my front door today, which is the retail version of the kit. This is why there's been no videos about the Puremax done on the channel until today. So let's spin round and see what the story is with the SXmini Puremax. If you were to get one of these on retail, you will of course get your USB-C charge cable. You'll get your pod and your drip tip in a sealed bag. You'll get the battery part, obviously, and you'll get the usual paperwork, maintenance and cheat sheets and stuff to do with the pods, and of course your user manual here. For additional languages, go to SXmini.com. Pod-wise, what you're getting pod-wise on retail release is 3 different ohm settings, and I'm trying to find the boxes here. Here we go. You got your 1.2 ohm coil. There we go. You've got your 0.6 ohm coil, and you've got your 0.8 ohm coil, and these are all out on retail release. So 0.6, 0.8 and 1.2. If you're a mouth-to-lung user only, I'd recommend getting the 1.2 ohm coils. There we go. Onto the pod. Let's have a look at the pod. Now, the big difference between what we are seeing with the retail release and what we got as the test sample is mainly to do with the pod. So the old test sample pods had a rubber bung on the side and you had to pull the pod out to fill the pod up. With the new one, well, if we pop this in, pop the drip tip on, you've got a sliding door here. So you can actually fill the pod up while the pod is still in the battery. And that's very important for a very simple reason. This works off of temp control. And what was happening to 1 or 2 folks as they were puffing away on the Puremax, the coil was heating up above room temperature, and they went, oh, the pod's empty. They had to pull the pod out, fill the pod up, pop the pod back in. Now, anytime you pop a pod into this, it will automatically pull the resistance. And some people were finding that the old pods, because they were warm when pushed back in, the temp control setting was pushed off because the pod wasn't at room temperature. Now you can fill them up while the pod is still in place. If we pop this out, you'll notice at the base of the pod it's very deep. The contacts in the base of the pod are very, very deep, and the reason they're deep is because of the contact poles in the actual pod, the pod battery itself, which you can see there and see there on the other side. They are very, very long, and there's a reason for this. The longer the connections are going into the pod, the better and more stable the temp control is going to be with the chip running down here. So there's the top of the pod. Everything's clip-in. There's no magnets in this because the 2 contacts are very, very long and they hold on to the pod very well. On this side, you've got SXmini's logo. On this side, you have got your airflow control there, fully open, fully closed. You've got your power system here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for on. Press and hold. It will start to blink. Just tap it. That's you in low power. That's you in the second power setting up, the third power setting up, and that's you at the top power setting there. Personally, I usually run it round about the third one up. So that's your 5-click on, 5-click off to switch it on and off. Press and hold to set your power level. Puremax there. We're at this side and we're at the beginning. Down at the base, you do of course have your USB-C charge point. And that's it, folks. A very quick look around the Puremax retail version and of course the pod. However, before we move on, let's have a look at the other colours. Now, this one is called the Neko Witch, and it's my own personal favourite one, to be honest. I'm going to pop that there. This is going to be the first time anyone's seeing these on video. We've got the blue one. We have got the silver one. Then we've got the green one. There we go. We've got the purple. Hi, Bunny. I know Vapor Bunny's going to want to get her hands on that. You've got the fuchsia. Then you have the double ups. So you've got the gunmetal one here, but you've got the standoff, which is the gunmetal quantum. So this is quantum gunmetal. It's got a much more polished finish on it, which is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, to be honest. And you've got the normal matte gunmetal here. And then, of course, to round it off, you've got the two blacks. You have got the normal matte black, which everyone's used to seeing, and you've got the quantum black, again with that polished finish, which is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. So pop that there, and what we've got here is the full retail lineup, all colours and all styles of the Puremax from SXmini. And there we go, folks. Now, what I'm about to do, I would not do with any other pod kit on the market, no matter who makes it. No matter how much they say they've got dry hit protection, I wouldn't do it. So this is freshly out of the box, empty pod. There's no liquid in this at all. We're on the third power setting here. Keep an eye on the three dots down here. They should light up. Completely closed the airflow control. There we go. Nothing. I'm going to keep this in camera so you know I'm not cheating. Pop you there. Bottle of naturally extracted tobacco. I'm going to pop the pod open. And I'm going to fill this up. Now, when filling these, try not to take too long. Because here's the thing, like all other pods, there is not a lot of cotton that surrounds the coil. And the longer you take to fill these pods up, the more chance you've got of the coil basically flooding out. So, you know, don't take too long filling the pod up, folks. There we go, filled up with some NET. Keeping it on camera. I'm going to give it a little bit of time just to let that soak up. Pop the pod in. I'm going to keep holding this up so that, you know, there's no jiggery-pokery going on. Oh, Q-Mini, Osiris. So the warning says, let the pod settle for 5 minutes. It should have settled by now. Here we go. In this pod, there is 9 milligram naturally extracted Virginia tobacco from here in the UK, and that is a phenomenally good flavour out of that NET. And there we go. That was the quick presentation video of the SXmini Puremax. The temp control actually does double up as a dry hit protection system, because in the old non-retail version, I've basically vaped pods bone dry and then it stopped working. It literally stopped working. It's a handy thing to have. It's a very handy thing to have. There's a couple of little hints that I'm going to give you as well if you get your hands on one of these. On the pod, there is a minimum fill level. Don't ignore that minimum fill level. Don't let the liquid go under the minimum fill level either. There's been a couple of times on the old version of the pod, because the minimum fill level's the same on both the pods, there's been a couple of times where I have had a leak on one of the older pods, and the reason was I let the liquid drop below the minimum fill, which meant the top of the juice intake was open to air. So the juice spilled out from the bottom, the air rushed in from the top to replace the juice, and it basically leaked. So keep an eye on the pod. Don't let it go under the minimum level. Second hint you'll want to know about, sometimes, depending on how hot you run the pod, you're going to get condensation forming down there at the very base. Now, there is a silicone seal that's surrounding the top end of the two-prong battery contacts, but what I will suggest is get a Q-tip. You know, Q-tips. Cotton buds, essentially, if you're in the UK. If you see a lot of condensation forming down there, in with the Q-tip, mop it up, and then pop your pod back in, and you'll basically be good to go. And there we go, folks. That was the SXmini Puremax. That's one heck of a throat hit. They are available now. If you go to the usual online vendors like Vaping 101, eSig 1, you'll have them there. There's a number of actual brick and mortar vape shops that are going to have them in. If you keep an eye on the SXmini UK page, hopefully within the next couple of months I'm going to be interviewing some of those UK shop owners who are actually stocking this. That's it from me. If you want an actual review of this, because this is just a presentation video, head over to YouTube, my own channel, Vaping with Vic. We'll have a mini review of this going up sometime later tonight. You've also got reviews of the older non-retail kits, but because this has hit the UK shelves as the retail package, you're going to be seeing a few more SXmini Puremax reviews going up from reviewers here in the UK. As always, folks, thanks for watching and have a good one.